Hello, my name is Max and welcome to 5 games I have played. A tabletop reviews production, whatever. This is part 21 and it's been a while since part 20 and it's even been a while since I uploaded. All of February, no videos, well, whatever. This is part 21, it is a low rated one, but that's usually what these are. So we're starting off with Cockroach Poker. This is a simple game where you have a whole bunch of cards with different animals on it, or beetles and stuff, cockroaches, spiders and flies and that kind of stuff. And you're trying to avoid having 4 in front of you. And the way you're doing it is, whoever it is, turn, chooses a card and sends it over to someone and says, this is a spider or whatever. And then you have to try and guess whether that is true, whether it's a lie, whether you dare risk taking it. It's pretty boring at the start because there isn't really any reason not to just take the card and play on, because as long as you have 4 cards in front of you, you're good. You don't, or at least as long as you don't have 4 of the same card in front of you, you're good. It doesn't really get exciting until someone has 3 of the same card, and then every time someone sends a card to that person, he's sitting there like, did you just tell me the truth that is a spider, or is it the cockroach which I have 3 of? And then it sort of gets going. So that late stage is kind of fun. That's where the bluffing aspects of it comes in, of course, or the lying, as some people will say, the poker part. But leading up to that is pretty boring. Another thing that's the plus for it is it's pretty fast. You're going to go through it pretty quickly. I give it a 3 out of 10, and the reason I give it a 3 out of 10 is because there's nothing, then there is some fun, but most of that fun comes from bluffing. And bluffing is really a thing where people will call it lying, and it's difficult to say whether you like it or not. So 3 out of 10 for that one. Next up is Copenhagen, which is a polyamorous game where you are putting down these polyamorous tiles and trying to build up, because then you can achieve some goals and points. And it's really one where you're sitting very slowly, but that all of a sudden it could explode and end within 3 rounds, and you're not prepared for it at all, especially when you're a new player. It uses a tactic similar to Team, where you're collecting cards of certain colors, and then you play a certain amount of those to play a tile of a certain amount of certain size. And the higher you get, the more better bonuses you can sort of access. But but the way you score is by filling out completely. So you can't just make one line up. That's not as good as making thick lines going upwards. But let's just say that aspect is fine. That the collecting the cards, the playing the cards is fine. It's this thing with all of a sudden it explodes. All of a sudden the person who's teaching you the game is 10 points ahead. And you don't even know what happened, and now the game's over. It comes as a surprise, really does, and all of a sudden it's just last round. Okay, well, damn. So yeah, that really sort of drags it down. Other than that, the scoring is fine. And I like this gameplay of drawing the cards and then playing them down. That's interesting. So it gets a 4 out of 10 for me. Then you have Crazy About Animals. This is just a quiz game. It's a quiz game all about animals. Don't even know if this exists in any other language than Danish. But it's a quiz game about animals where you have 4 subcategories within these animals, and it's the same as always. The difficulty in it fluctuates like crazy. The reason I'm going to give this a higher score than usually for quiz games is because it's specific about animals. So if you know a lot about animals, you're probably going to do pretty alright. But again, the difficulty just fluctuates like insanely much. Like one is which type of whale is this, and it's easily a humpback. And the next one is what subspecies does this belong to? And it's like, well. So yeah, it's a 4 out of 10 for that as well. Total Domination. This is a war game that my buddy he bought. He specifically bought this one because he wanted a war game that was more with the cards and less on the dice, right? He dislikes the dice aspect, which is always very luck based. So he wanted something that was based on cards, and he found this game which is drafting. So you start off with the drafting round, getting some cards in hand, a whole bunch of cards in hand. And these cards can be used in 3 different ways. Some of them is movement, some of it is technology upgrades, or taking over countries. Different things you can, depending on what nation you are. You are, of course, the 4 main nations of Japan, Germany, England, and USA. Or Great Britain and the USA. It's fine, like the drafting aspect is fine, it's good with the multiple uses for the cards and you can improvise. But the thing I don't like is you can't plan ahead. I really dislike that aspect. Because I might be sitting there going like, okay, I got these 3 cards in the first round, because you get more cards. So that means I can move this one, and then I have this one to react. But then he does that, and she does that, and you do that, and then I'm like, okay, well I have to play this card now to do this to defend myself, and then do that, and then goes around. It's like, oh god, okay, defend myself like this, and you're just constantly just sitting there waiting. There's no point in trying to plan ahead of the cards you have, or thinking, yo, I'm gonna get this awesome technology, because all of a sudden somebody does something and you like technology and get devastated, or defend myself with no technology. So yeah, I give it a 5 out of 10 again, because I do like the drafting, do like the monthly use cards, and I do like the movement phase on the map. I think it works really well. But just this aspect of I can't plan ahead, I'm just sitting here waiting for my turn to see what I can do. Yeah, I hate that part. So 5 out of 10. And next up is Confident. So Confident is a game, sort of also a quiz game. But you're trying to say, how long did this take? And you're saying in between this amount of minutes, or this amount of years, or whatever, or how many of this many pieces, this many grams, whatever. There was one question which was, how many push-ups is the world record within a certain amount? I can't remember, within a minute or something, within 10 minutes, I can't remember. And then you like go, okay, well, how many push-ups is that? I think it's 100 to 200 push-ups. And then if the answer is 137, well, you're within it. But then you look, like you have 100, maybe somebody said, well, it's 120 to 150. Well, he only has a 30. So he scores more points than you, because he's more confident, so to speak. And if you got the thing spot on, that's where you score the most points. So it's a good quiz game where, again, more people can be with, because I think generally it's going to be easier, but you also have a better idea of how many, and guesses is going to be closer, right? So I give it a 6 out of 10, because I would actually 100% play this again, most definitely. So yeah, it's a fun quiz game there. So yeah, Pod 21 there, it has a 4.4 out of 10 average rating. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!